All right, what's up everybody? And we are 1 week post-show. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my general post-show approach, what I've been up to, but more so what I would recommend that you guys do. So as you guys know, I was pretty much reversing for 6 to 7 weeks before my last show. So I've had things pretty easy. Post-show hunger hasn't really been tremendous for me since I was already reversing. Yeah, some nights I'm a little bit more hungry than others. But that's expected, especially coming off of a show and just wanting to eat a little bit more. It's probably more mental than anything. So for me, it hasn't really been that hard. But for a normal person who dieted right until the show, hunger is probably going to be very, very hard, or I should say very, very high coming out of a show. So what I would normally do is recommend that someone increase their calories right off the bat by a large amount. Now, everyone's going to be different. Some people, for instance, some of my male competitors, they can easily take in an extra 100 grams of carbs every single day, starting right out of the gate. And one thing that I do want to preface this is that some people do definitely go too slow, which is detrimental, and some people go too fast, which is also detrimental. So there is a middle ground. You don't want to gain too much fat, and you don't want to be stage lean because it's kind of pointless. The time to be stage lean was during contest season, not afterwards. But what is the hardest thing for someone to do post-contest? I think we would all agree that it's actually sticking to your diet, sticking to your numbers, because there's no contest in mind. And yes, there has been some days this week where I've gone slightly over my numbers, or I've had an extra serving of maybe a cereal at night that I wasn't allotted according to my numbers, but I did it anyway. And I even caught myself doing that because I was going over my numbers. Like I said, I've had it good, but most people coming out of an extreme deficit, that's where the binging starts. So they have these high binging episodes where they take in a lot of calories and then they restrict themselves. Binging episodes a couple days later, then they restrict themselves. So the most important thing to do, what I'd recommend, is actually set numbers where you could hit it. So for me, my numbers coming out of the contest were 400 grams of carbs a day and roughly really 60 grams of fat. So what I did was the first few days I kind of held my numbers steady because I wasn't lifting weights. But then when I got back to lifting weights, I obviously increased my energy expenditure and I wanted to increase my caloric input. So what I did was I went from 400 to 450 and from 60 grams of fat to roughly like 65 grams of fat for a few days. Then towards the end of the week, I was like, you know what? I'm getting a little bit hungry, having a slightly hard time hitting my numbers, so I gave myself another 25 grams of carbs and another 5 grams of fat, and I'm able to hit 475 grams of carbs and 70 grams of fat, no problem, no hunger issues right now. That's the biggest thing, is you have to assign yourself numbers, or the numbers that you're assigned, you have to be able to hit them, because it's kind of pointless if you have numbers and then you don't hit them. It's easier said than done, I know, especially coming post-contest, but like I said weeks and weeks ago, it's about preparing yourself for it to be over. Now, mentally, I am 100% fine with being done dieting for these shows, being contest lean. Yes, my weight's up slightly, but I still look good. As you guys probably saw earlier in the week, I put up a post that I'm only 3 pounds up from my stage weight, which I guess it's good. I'm not trying to hang around it by any means. I'm not trying to get fat by any means. I let the 2 days post contest, my weight went up slightly there. Obviously, came back down. The holidays are coming. Thanksgiving is this week, so my weight's probably going to come up more just from Thanksgiving. I'm not going to hold back on my apple pie. But that's the thing. It's post contest. It's okay to let your weight come up. And yeah, maybe some of us, our weight comes up a little bit faster than others, but that's all right. It's all about having it somewhat controlled in somewhat manner. So for those of you who are struggling post-contest, because now I know pretty much everyone is done competing, WNBF Worlds was just this past weekend, so that was pretty much the last big show of the year. It's, give yourself a large enough increase where you could actually stick to your diet. And yes, it's going to be hard, like for Thanksgiving, to actually hit numbers accordingly. And I know I'm probably not going to really track too much on Thanksgiving. I'll try to keep it fairly under control. But that's the name of the game. Is I'm not looking to gain an X amount of number of pounds. I know some people recommend that. I'm not one of them. Post-show within a short amount of time. I'm more or less recommending that you increase your calories in a shorter period of time, maybe 1 or 2 bumps in the week like I did for myself. And if you do that, your weight will come up naturally. So I'm not here saying I need to gain 5 to 10 pounds by the end of the year. You know, maybe I'm going to gain 5 pounds by the end of the year. Most likely with the holidays coming up, I'm going to gain 5 pounds by the end of the year. But I don't have a set number in mind. I think that's a kind of an odd way of looking at it. I think it should be food focused coming out of the competition. You know, bring that up as fast as possible. And then your weight will naturally come up as you increase your food. So guys, that's pretty much my thought process post-contest. You know I'm not here, you know, setting any records with, you know, increasing my calories. Like I said, I was already eating quite a bit. So really upping my calories, you know, 50 to 75 grams is not all that much. Giving myself 5 to 10 more grams of fat in the first week is not all that much. But, you know, some of you guys who are in a very, very deep deficit can go above and beyond that. Now, I know everyone is different because, like, my metabolism is probably better than most people, I should say, just because I was able to diet eating so much, and I'm still able to eat so much, being able to hold a good body composition. But, and I do want to hit this home, it's don't worry too much about holding your body composition post-contest. Now, I'm not going to do a posing video. That's why this video is going to be longer, because I'm not going to do a physique update. The time is done to evaluate my physique every single week. I actually put the mirror in my kitchen away. That's why I'm sitting on my kitchen table now. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to sit here and do these videos because there's no need to evaluate my physique. The time to do that was for the past 50 weeks. You know, I'm still weighing myself, but that will stop. The daily weights will stop within probably about a month or so, and I'll go back to a weekly check-in with myself. It's just about slowly getting yourself out of the prep process and returning to normal life. So that's this week's video on my post-contest approach, especially the first week. You know, maybe next week I'll do another update, let you guys know how I'm doing. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in and have a happy Thanksgiving.